who is your greatest rapper of all time, and who is your greatest singer? Who's your favorite, your number one rapper and your number one singer of all time?
So I'm not really the guy that's qualified to talk about rap music. I can only tell you what
Yours, you
I
personally.
can only
I'm
tell you
not
what
I'm
I
not
like.
saying your personal favorite of all time.
For me, it's always going to be Biggie.
Wow. That's me too. That's me too.
And I don't know if it's, I mean, because I like the story. I like
Right.
Biggie. Um, Having met him and realizing that he was the real thing. From a talent perspective, though, it might be Eminem.
Wow.
Ooh,
Just the
yeah.
body of work and
Yes.
storytelling.
Yeah.
But there's something that happens when one of those Biggie records comes on that
Yep.
is Michael Jackson like
Yes.
from
Yes.
a rap perspective that I'm not sure. And again, there are other songs when some of the stuff that Dre and Snoop did when the song comes on, yeah, that's my jam.
Yeah.
But Biggie's got so many of them, even the
Right.
ones that were,
So Biggie's on your
album
top
cut.
list.
Biggie's at the top of my list for me
And
because of the
singer
way
and now singer who's R&B singer, whatever singer you want to. What singer is your number one singer?
see the greatest singer I've ever heard
Yes.
is going to be a very controversial thing because for me it's about what you do live.
Right.
There's nobody who can sing Journey songs like Steve Perry.
Wow.
Yes.
Steve Perry.
I'll tell you something. And as much as I love Steve, and I'm not saying he's better than Stevie, I'm not saying any of it, but if you went and sang for Journey and had to sing those songs and those keys the way he did, there's a reason why he doesn't sing with Journey anymore because, it's hard to do.
Right.
But for me, it's probably Stevie Wonder. It's Stevie
Wow.
Wonder because every singer that sings today bases something that they do on Steve.
Wow. Wow. That's a
So two Steves for you.
yeah,
But
that's great.
female wise, feeling is Whitney.
Of
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
Whitney
But
is
but when
Whitney
you
is
sit
my
in the
number one.
audience, when you sit in the audience at a Celine Dion show when she was at her best, nothing like it,
Yeah.
brother.
That's so sad, man, that
Flawless.
the one,
Flawless.
it's so sad the one purpose for her talent, her stardom is what she's dealing with in terms of the disease that she has. Man, it breaks my heart because she's also one of my favorites. I'm not a big rap guy. I'm
Yeah,
more of like I love music, and Celine Dion was always one of my favorites. Whitney was one of my favorites. Adele now is one of my favorites. Have I haven't named, I didn't say Luther or anything. My mom loves Luther, but I don't know that I love the women and I love, how they sang. But yeah, Celine, I feel so bad for her, man. It's tough, but I love her fight, and I love the fact that she's very um, she's very transparent with it. So that's great, man. I love the fact that you have such you're not like your love for music and artists is from a different standpoint, and it's really because of the education, the amount of years you've been in this. You know what to look for. You're not dealing with all the the technology and the internet that makes people sound. A lot of people you ask this question to, they give you some artist and you go, what? Like, they don't even know that
we are creatures. We're creatures of what we like.
Yeah.
And I would never knock anybody for liking what they like. It is universal that you should be able to decide what that is. Just because I like something doesn't mean, and that's the beauty of being human, that you have a choice. You have a choice to like whatever it is you like, when that goes from cars to clothes to fashion to anything. And that's what makes us all individuals. Nobody, the beautiful thing of growing up in the country where we are, I've been to some of these countries where they tell you what you're supposed to like. And that's not the way,
100%. Well, Terry Crews and I we were talking the other day. You know, we're going to interview him soon, but Terry was talking about the mentality that coaches have in professional sports and how it really affected his mental health. And you know, me and him played together at the Rams, and I know what I understand and know what he's talking about because I dealt with it in the music business, especially with the labels, right? A lot of artists are being shelved or whatever, you know, whatever is going on, the decisions that labels are making and that don't really align with the artist. In your experience, and you've dealt with different labels, so forth and so on. What's maybe one of the craziest things a label has said to you that you may not have agreed with, that it really affected you mentally?
That's an interesting question because how do I say this and not sound self-serving again? I've always known what I wanted and where I wanted to go. And I always knew that if I wasn't driving that vehicle, I don't want to go there. So there was never anything somebody could say to me or try to do to me that I wasn't agreeing to. The beautiful thing about having success early in the music business that then you get to call the shots. What was very important for me was from the beginning, I didn't want to be an artist. I just wanted to write songs. They asked me to be an artist. They said, well, who's
Right.
singing this? Like, well, I am. I was like, well, who's producing? I was like, I am. Who's writing? I am. I was like, well, do you want to be a recording? You want to be an artist? I was like, well, the best vehicle for that. I am my favorite artist to work with. So I decided to do that. I always thought that I'd say, okay, well, now that I'm working out with some of the Clippers and those guys, maybe I'll be good enough to, you know, walk on to one of these teams or something, something else.
That's
And
interesting.
my first record sold 1 million copies.
Right.
And then I was off and running. So my other dreams had to wait. But they'd always try different things, you know, and it was always self-serving for them. You know, well, we have this group of writers because they do these writers deals, call them label imprints, but they were really sort of a way to get these producers in their camps so that they could get those songs placed on their artists. And, you know, it's like, we have these guys, you want to work with them? I'm like, no. I don't want to work with them, but we have this great song we have for you. It's like, no, I'll hear it, but I can beat it. I'll be right back. I'll go and write another song. Like that's it.
That's
I'm gonna beat it.
amazing.
Wow.
I'm gonna beat it because I never wanted somebody else to write my story.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
if they want somebody else to write my story, then I don't want that story. And luckily, I was successful enough to continue to call the shots to this day.
Wow. Well, that's good that you didn't really you know, you didn't have that kind of experience. It's amazing that you've been in the business now since you were in your teens, you know, in your mid 50s, and you've never had you know, like a run-in with a label that really affected you. It says a lot about you know the strength that you've had.
When you grow up, and this is a very interesting, I think that is parallel for you and I, Rob. When you have a dream and you don't come from much, you don't expect a lot from
Right.
other people. So it's hard for someone else who hasn't had my journey to say something or do something to me that I felt entitled that I needed to have. You know, just tell me what you want me to do, and
Right.
I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability, and I'm gonna be okay with that. And I think that's one of the hardest things for people to do, that they never think that what they're doing is good enough. And in our business, and in a lot of ways in your business too, and I see you see this with the players that you work with, you know, when you lose or when that contract isn't something, or when, you know, these are the things that will affect you, particularly
Right.
when you do to take care of your family, you know, or now because of social media, there's a story out there about me, or there's this, or there's that. You have to come from a very, very strong place to not let those things affect, because we're human, but
Yeah.
if you could step back and say, no, I'm on task. I'm on the right track here.
Right.
And it's hard. How many people can actually reset themselves
Right.
without a meltdown of some kind? And, you know, I've kind of always been that guy, you know, and I think we were fortunate to not grow up with social media, because I can't imagine that now.
100%.